Hi everyone, how are you all? I'm back now to share the layout that I made with my kit for February for the love of homemade kits. I found it really inspiring. I've used nearly all the papers, so I'm going to show you what I've got left and I'm going to show you the layout I created. I'm probably not on the best day to record this because Storm Dennis is actually bashing my windows at the moment. I'm being in the loft. The rain is coming down quite hard, so I apologise in advance for any noise. So, all my 12 by 12 has been used, and I've just got these offcuts left. So I've got probably about an 8 by 11 piece of yellow cardstock left. I've just got that left, and this that I tried but unsuccessfully to add some yellow acrylic paint to it, but I didn't like what happened with it. So pieces like this now I will probably put in a bag and take to school. I might cut the hexagons, but I'll see how I feel. Washi tape, I've used lots of my washi tape, but do you know what, I still haven't got to the end, but there has been a bit of a dent in it, and I'll show you. I've used washi in quite a few of my layouts. I used quite a lot of my little wooden Scrabble pieces, but I got a few left. So I'll add those back to my collection. I've only got 2 tags left. They didn't go with the pages I did, so I didn't use those. So I'll put those back in my stash. I used this frame die to cut some frames out, which I'll show you in a second. So I thought I'd just show you how I created the frames on the one layout. I've used my paints. I think I used all 3 colours actually, but I don't think I used this one. I don't think I used the Maggie Holmes ones, so I'll just put all those back with my mixed media now. I used some of the pieces off here, and I think what I might do with the rest of these is cut them and put them in with my Project Life stuff, because they've got the months on. I've had this piece of paper knocking around for quite a few years. I've used nearly all my acrylic sheet, non-acrylic, acetate sheet. I've just got a little piece left. I made a big dent in the stickers. As I said, I probably will never ever use this dream catcher. But what I think I'll do is cut all the words off that I'll use and the other little ones and add them to my stash. Just because these are quite hard to store, aren't they? I used my, what do you call that? A stencil. I did use my stencil on a layout. I've made a bit of a dent in my alphas in both of them, but I've still got lots of letters left, so which means I can still make up lots of words. I use this stamp set a lot because, spookily enough, as if it was meant to be, a lot of the designs on the stamps matched my washi tape, and so I used some different coloured inks then to match in with that, to do some stamping. I also used this one, but I didn't use this stamp set, so that's fine. And here we go. So I'm going to start in the order I did them. This was the first layout I did, and this piece of cardstock was one of my oldest pieces in the kit, because this was an October afternoon one. This spotty one then was the reverse of this piece of paper, which was now Amy Tangerine piece of paper, and then I've used all my text paper up as well. You can see there where I use my acrylic paint and the stencil. Just a word of warning, it does take longer to dry with the acrylic paint, so I would do that at the beginning of your layout and set to one side. All these flowers then I fussy cut from the Amy Tangerine piece of paper, and I've used lots of the stickers then and one of my tags. This was the one that had the American spelling of favourite, so as you can see I've tucked that underneath, and as you can see I used a coloured background for the first time in ages. Then I did this page, and the way I've highlighted the words is I use the acrylic paint and a very thin paintbrush. I nearly said toothbrush. It was definitely a paintbrush. And I also then did some stamping. As you can see there, I just used some of my Stampin' Up inks, which match the colours of the papers. And I've mixed some of my alphas in here. And again, lots of stickers. And I had washi and some acetate there. But I was quite pleased with the way this came out, because I was wondering at one point whether the acrylic paint would be too thick and you wouldn't read the words, but actually you can still read them all really clearly. So that was my second page. Then this is where I used the frame, and what I actually did to create these frames, I used my pink piece of cardstock and covered sections of it with washi tape and cut them out. So I've created my own frames there. Last piece of this grid paper was used, and then for the offcuts I cut out some hearts. Then it's a bit hard to see under some of them because I think I had to put my frames down too low, but I used some of the hexagon pieces cut out, some of my sequins. Oh, that was the other thing we had to use, was sequins, and lots of the stickers, and once again more of the stickers, and I've mixed in, I used a different alphabet this time. So I was quite pleased with that one, but as you can see, that was the back of that piece of paper, which I loved these, but I didn't want two layouts with, excuse me, flowers fussy cut. So there we go. As you can see now, I'm coming to the end of my kit because I'm literally using offcuts now. So this paper, where did I use that as well? I thought I used that somewhere else. No, obviously not, but I've got none of that left either now. That's baffled me now as to where else it would be. Anyhow, okay. Then, as you can see, I've used a tag. I used one of the month cards, and I splattered with the acrylic paint, but this one was actually one of the stamps using ink. I did put a couple of the feathers there. Cut out an acetate heart then using a die, because that cuts really well as also. And for my final layout, excuse me, I added in some papers from my scrapbooks, because that's the other thing you can do, is look through those scraps and use them up, and they're perfect sizes for backing small cut files. So this, I've used this before as a 12 by 12, but I shrunk it down for this layout. And I used the piece of paper which had all the different like graduating colours in, and I was a bit puzzled on how I was going to use it. Then I just tore some of it and showed some of the pink, and this is the one that I used, the yellow one, which I didn't like too much, but I went with it anyway. Punched some hearts out, more stickers, and just layered up this then using lots of scraps. I cut these hearts. I think the back of one of these papers were little cut apart 2 by 2 cards, so I cut out the pieces I wanted, and I used up all my hearts. So there we go. Out of that kit, not only have I bashed all the 12 by 12 papers I put in, and I think I must have included about 6 12 by 12, either 6 or 7, and the cardstock, and I've completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layouts, used a bit of stash, and I felt inspired by it. I do find when I take the time to make up my own kits, I am far more inspired by what I put together, because I tend to choose them with photos in mind. Sometimes you buy a kit, and I love having kits, don't get me wrong, but sometimes they don't always go with your style. So at least when you make up your own, you can do the style that you like to work with. So there we go. So I think now I've finished so early in the month, I think I might make up another kit. I might have a look for another little recipe online, and so I can keep the momentum going. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you soon now with another scrapbooking layout. I'm delighted to say that I've hit 750 subscribers. Huge welcome to each and every one of you. You are very much welcome, and I love to engage with you all. Hope you stay safe if you're living in the UK at the moment, because we are being battered by storms, and I shall see you all very soon. Take care. Hwyl fawr.